What's going on this Friday? This is Frank, House of Orange, coming at you. We got more big news today, this time transfer portal. Of course, the biggest news of the week yesterday was Josh Elander making the change. As Josh Reynolds out as pitching coach. I'll link that in if you haven't checked that out already. But news of two more departures came today. And, sat and debated. I'd heard some stuff over the weekend that Manny Marin may be returning, and started seeing that pick up a little bit more this week. I saw where VolQuest Mods talked a little bit about they were under the impression he was going to the draft. Ben McKee of 24/7 kind of doubled down, saying that he thought Marin would be coming back. Well, it looks like Manny Marin might be coming back to college, but he's not coming back to Tennessee. Mike Wilson of VolQuest.com did put out that it is Tennessee's decision to not bring Manny Marin back. And if you look at guys they've been targeting in the portal, you'll see, and I've heard one of their big focuses is going to be middle infield with it as well. So, it's pretty interesting to me. I thought Manny Marin did a good job this year. Numbers weren't bad. So, you better go out and upgrade. Let's put it that way on it. It's a bold move, and it's one. What I'm seeing, a theme with guys Elander's recruiting is higher on-base percentage. And he said after they lost to VCU, we're going to look at adjustments that we're going to make. Looks to me like they're changing philosophy as far as hitting goes. They're wanting more, because Tennessee, a lot of times, they go for that power guy. Higher strikeout rate. It looks to me now you're wanting lower strikeouts. You're wanting to put the ball in play. I mean, let's face it, what beat them against East Carolina and VCU? They couldn't put the ball in play when they needed to. What Josh Elander's doing this offseason shows me he's a pretty smart guy as far as what he's doing. He wasn't happy with the results this year. He wasn't content with just getting there and going 0 for 2. So he's making the changes he feels necessary to make. Again, with Manny Marin, I think it's an interesting road to go. Pretty good ball player, pretty good shortstop. Again, hit the ball pretty well. I mean, there was some streakiness there, but still, I think we would all pretty much agreed if we thought going into next season Manny Marin was going to be the shortstop, we'd all feel pretty good with that. So, I'm interested what specifically we're kind of looking at there as far as that goes, because Tennessee does have visitors this week. You had Souders from Sanford visiting, and the big one that's visiting right now is Braden Kersey from Mercer. Two-way guy, listed as an infielder and a right-hand pitcher as well. Says he is a finalist for the John Olerud two-way player of the year. He was first team All-Southern Conference this year. 325, 21 bombs, 67 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Let's see, pitched in 45 games in 2 seasons. Said he's mostly been a reliever, had 6 saves this year from what I saw on it. Not a bad thing. And, I think I saw somewhere maybe he DH'd more than anything. So that tells me there, I mean, with him DHing, especially if you're going using closer role, that's probably your best bet on nights where you're playing the pitching is the DHing. And they could have did the same with Blaine Brown. Of course, they didn't look real deep at Blaine Brown pitching. But if Kersey is as good of a pitcher, as it says, and he can contribute, you got to think the nights they've got him slated to pitch, he'll DH if Tennessee's able to get him. Now, I think I've seen LSU's maybe coming in on that one as well. Not seen much more, but that's a big visitor that they've got coming in. Another one I saw, I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name, and I've not looked it up now. Wyatt, I'm going to say Hanoan from Air Force. Said he hit 357 this year, walked 32 times, was hit by pitches 24 times, and I think you guys will like this one. Only 21 strikeouts. He's a switch hitter, 6 home runs, 4 triples, 14 doubles. He will be draft eligible next year as well. So that's a couple. That's 3 that we know of coming in. There is the pitcher from Northwest State who's also supposed to come in this weekend, Brody Trosclair. Again, I hope I pronounced it right. I've not looked up the correct pronunciation, but he was an all-conference freshman pitcher, and I saw his season was cut short. So, but I can't think Tennessee's going out and getting a guy that's not going to pitch next year. There's no doubt about that. In addition to Manny Marin entering the portal, Taylor Tracy hit the portal. Another interesting one because he, of course, pitched some. The talk of fall ball was his bat and how good it was, how good he was hitting the ball. And we saw him hit very, very little this year. We did see him start multiple midweek games, saw him a little bit on the weekends. Some looked to me like a guy that could really be a factor for Tennessee, but he has entered the portal. Don't know the reasons on that or anything. Everybody's got their own reasons. They got to do what they got to do on it. And, you know, the thing of it is, I don't know how many of these guys are entering on their own versus maybe they're being, you know, encouraged to enter the portal. And again, you know, some of the stuff you hear out there may be true. Some of it may not. You never know on that one. But Marin's in the portal. Taylor Tracy's in the portal. If I'm not mistaken, that brings it up to 13. There's guys we have not heard anything about for sure yet. So, you know, it'll be interesting. I don't really think we're done with portal, to be honest with you. I think we'll see more based on what I've seen. Let's see, let me pull the roster up here. I should have had that up, but based on what we've seen, I'll kind of go through it really quick here and kind of hit where we're at. I got the freaking basketball roster up. Hang on, wrong one. Let's try this again here. Baseball, all right, and we'll go down the line. From what I've heard, and I'm going straight down it, the way they've got them listed by number, Blaine Brown is expected back, according to Kane and Wilson. Ariel Antigua and Manny Marin portal. Garrett Wright had an Instagram post today that pretty much looked like a farewell from him. I think he'll be drafted pretty high. Some of the thought originally is Manny Marin would go to the draft. Mike Wilson kind of alluded to maybe his stock's not as high as they thought it might be. So, and again, I had heard over the weekend that Manny Marin could possibly be back. So, looks like he'll be playing somewhere next year. We've not heard anything on Brady Frederick. Again, I just don't see where he's an SEC fit. I'm just not seeing it. You know, maybe whenever you hire a new pitching coach, there's something they want to work with him, that's something they like. I mean, the guy's not a bad pitcher. Don't get me wrong. Like, it just was not a good year for him in the SEC, by no doubt. Really, overall, it's better in non-conference games for sure. Mark Handy out of eligibility. Jay Abernathy to the portal. Teams I've seen mentioned with him so far is West Virginia and Georgia. I definitely think he'll end up at a strong school. Henry Ford will be draft bound. Evan Blanco out of eligibility. Evan Hankins to the portal. Reese Chapman out of eligibility. Blake Grimmer, fully expect he'll go to the draft. I would think top 10 rounds. I'm curious what his position is. I know he played a lot of second base. I've seen projections more of a corner guy, specifically first base. He played some there as well. Hunter Hyde to the portal. Levi Clark, it's expected he will be back, even though we've not heard anything for sure on that. Same with Nate Eisfelder. It's expected he'll be back. We've not heard anything there. Landon Mack, Cam Appenzeller have announced they're coming back. Tyler Myatt, we've not heard anything on him. I think he's got some big-time potential. I really do, and it could be a thing where he takes that step after a year in the SEC. Tegan Coons will be off to the draft. Brandon Arvidsson, it said he's moving on. Chris Newstrom to the portal. Stone Lawless announced today he is coming back. He'll be back next year. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with catching, because Trent Grenlinger's already confirmed he's back. Lawless is now back. If Levi Clark's back, you're going to have to juggle it some way. It'll be interesting. But I'm sure these conversations have been had in these exit meetings. I think I said Newstrom to the portal. Hudson Chance to the portal. Taylor Tracy portal. Grinlinger's confirmed he's back. Finley Bates, Ethan Moore to the portal. Bo Rudy, he'll be off to the draft. I expect he could be top 5 rounds. I really think so on that. Braden Krenzel, Cash Williams to the portal. Sawyer Deering, freshman. We've not heard anything on him. So, I mean, you got to expect probably until you hear something, these guys may be coming back, but not having confirmation there. Ari Bethea, portal. Ethan Bioto, not heard anything there about him. He's a guy I hope they were able to bring back. I think has a lot of potential. Jackson Estes, Will Haas, Nick Abraham have all confirmed that they are back. Looking at it as well. Jax Bishop. I'm thinking Jax Bishop hit the portal. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I don't have it in front of me. Chandler Days confirmed he's back. DJ McDowell's a guy I've heard good things about as well. I've not seen any confirmation on him, but I would think that's a guy you'd like to have back and build based on everything I've read and heard about him, that he has a good arm. So you've got some good pieces in place right now. Now you got to go out and add to that. Middle infield's going to be a priority. I think you need a third baseman. Could that be a Tyler Myatt possibly? Could it be through the portal? Be interesting to see. Currently, I think Blaine Brown, Nate Eisfelder in the outfield. That tells me you need a center fielder. Souders, from what I've seen profiles, that he can play center field. Saw that Eric Kane said the visit did go well, but he's visiting a lot of SEC schools. He's pretty highly sought after here. Catcher, you're set there. Pitching, you've got 2/3 of your starting rotation coming back. I've seen it said that Jackson Estes will probably get a shot at that third spot, as they were pretty high. I've heard some really good things on him and his arm. I've heard it. I've read it as well. But I think you got to go out and get a starter out of the portal. I really do. I think you got to go out and get a proven guy there. And then bullpen, you need bullpen help. You specifically need some right-handers that can bring heat. You got a lot of lefties coming back. You got a lot of good options there from left hand with Chandler Day, Will Haas, Jackson Estes potentially as well. They've got a core. They've got a good core. Now it's go out and add to it, build on what they've got coming back, which looks to be pretty solid. And again, with the philosophy, the adjustments, I'm curious to see where they're going. It's pretty obvious to me they're going for more guys who can get on base opposed to just kind of your home run or bust guys. I think it's I think it has to happen too. And something I'd like to see a little bit more too is a little more small ball. I really would. A little more hit and run, a little more stealing bases, just laying down a freaking bunt when you need to. I think it's some things that, I mean, you see some of these teams that's played. Small ball still wins games. Small balls can still win games. Small ball can lose you games if you don't, if you don't execute as well as we saw at Tennessee, because Marin gets the bunt down against East Carolina. Tennessee's into the second round. And who knows what happens from there. Of course, based on, when they went against North Carolina on the Saturday game, I mean, your ace, Tegan Coons, is sick as a dog. So it'd have been interesting to see how that would have come out. He would have definitely battled. There's no doubt about that. But that's where we're at right now. Again, I would expect we'll hear more portal departures. Of course, in the coming weeks. Portal is open till June 30th. We'll hear more departures. Of course, Tennessee will be adding guys as well. Plus, you've got 19 guys coming in from the high school class. They won't all make it in. There will be some get to the draft. But you've got a good crop. You got a good batch to build around. Now it's just go out, add what you need, and be ready to rock and roll next year. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange, and I'll see you when I see you.